What's going on, folks? We at second and five. We got Tim. We got Carl. You got myself, Sean Ford. Let's go, guys.
All right. I just want to start off by saying to Josh and Mike, I know you're watching. Gus Johnson had a great game last week in the preseason, and I know why you're scared to come on. Anyhow, we'll move on from there. Kelvin Benjamin, Carl, Sean, and Carl. I mean, this guy was our fantasy wide receiver. Carl, I know you're a fantasy guy, Carl. You're mad. I'm mad. Sean, I know you're mad. Kelvin Benjamin out for the season. This changes a lot of things. Not only, I know we're being selfish now because we're talking about fantasy football. You know, we're being selfish now, just thinking about ourselves and our drafting. But, wow. Now, the Carolina Panthers, fellas, can they go on and at least go to the playoffs without Kelvin Benjamin? Because it's going to be hard.
I doubt that because if I'm not mistaken, I think what's his name? I think it's Greg Olsen is
the tight end.
Is the next best thing. I think they're pretty much even last season between Calvin and Greg, but now that Calvin's out of the picture, your next best guy is Greg. He's not going to be covered more. You don't have those two, really good wide receivers. You have one good, so it's going to be easily covered. The only silver lining is that for fantasy-wise, Greg might be the best pickup because he is the one main receiver for Cam Newton. So he might give you overall points throughout the season.
Yeah.
But for the Panthers,
it's brutal, man. It's brutal. They got like Jason Avant and Philly Brown, like these guys that they have right now, they're stepping in. It's
not even Carl. Philly, I think Avant went to Kansas City. Philly got released.
Well, I can see that happening. It's not like they were good. Is my audio messed up? Is my audio messed up, guys?
I don't know.
I'm hearing like a lot of feedback, but as long as you guys don't hear it, I'm good.
Well, I tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. David Funches is this big 6'5" wide receiver, tight end from Michigan, when they drafted this year. And I don't believe in him. Now look. Listen. If they want to be smart, you got a whole lot of wide receivers out there in the market. But I'm gonna tell you this: the best one to go out and get is my man Reggie Wayne. That's it. No, don't get Wells Walker. Go ahead and get Reggie Wayne. You get Reggie Wayne, you'll be all right. All right. I didn't say you're gonna be better off with Kelvin Benjamin because we don't know how is he gonna be yet. Or you're gonna have to go find a team and make a trade for a wide receiver. Unless you're gonna get another year like Laurent Robinson, a wide receiver gets released, comes to your team and he does his thing. Like when we had with Laurent Robinson, I really don't see. That's the only option they have.
It's going to be tough, man. Greg Olsen is going to see more throws his way and targets, but there's really no one else. They're going to have to get so creative getting the ball to their running backs, even like their second and third string running backs, because, how much can Jonathan Stewart handle at this point? He's probably going to break down as the season goes on because they're going to be leaning on him. That box is going to be stacked. Cam's athletic. He's going to be running a lot. It's going to be tough, though, man. They're going to win some sloppy games. It's for them to win a division, they're going to have to beat up on each other, everybody. And just like last year, almost by default, like an 8-8 type deal, 9-7. With Kelvin Benjamin, I thought that was going to be tough for them to beat out Atlanta. I figured that's going to be a two-head, race. They're going to be going back and forth. But, what it is, fantasy perspective or not, Kelvin Benjamin was the top 12, 15 receiver. That talent is tough to replace. 1,000 yards, I mean, not to mention the size that he's a matchup problem.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
He's a matchup problem now. I know they got Funches too, but with both of them on the outside, it's easier. Now that they're just going to roll a safety over the top of Olsen, keep a couple linebackers in the box. It's going to be difficult year, man. They're going to need their defense to step up.
Well, I want to ask you guys this. I want you guys to put your GM caps on. You're the GM of the Carolina Panthers. The owner says, please, make a deal. Make a deal. Carl, what are you going to do?
Well, I like what you said with Reggie Wayne, man. I mean, you can't go wrong getting a guy like that. I mean, at this point, the contract talks, you're not going to overpay over a long period for this guy. You want to sign him for a year, give him an extra $1 million or whatever if you can afford it on your cap. That's fine. They must know something that we don't. The inner circles of the NFL must know something, because I'm surprised he hasn't been signed by someone else to begin with. Especially at this point.
That's true.
As soon as he got injured,
that is true.
I saw the update yesterday. I saw that he had a knee sprain, and I was working. My brother had mentioned that he tore his ACL, and instantly my brain started going. I'm like, who can they replace him with? And I really didn't have anybody coming to mind because, let's face it, these free agents are old. They don't really bring any sexiness to the table. But all you're really looking for is substance right now. You just want somebody that's going to take a defender, roll some coverage away from Olsen or take the pressure off Cam. I mean, it's going to be difficult, man. Ron Rivera's got his work cut out for him. That's for damn sure.
I mean, I don't
How about you, Sean? What are you doing?
As much to say who to pick for. I mean, I'm just going to take you guys' word for it. But as a businessman, the first thing I would say, who is the best person right now? Because free agency is just like what you say. It's not the youngest and the greatest. But who is that can at least keep our head above water for a year contract that will fit our cap? And that's the only thing the Carolinas can do right now, because they're barely out of the water. Right? They're barely breathing right now. They're drowning. What can save their season right now is plight. So even that is plight. Is it worth it to spend a dime right now to try to gain something and probably just take this lose and hopefully get a good draft pick coming up next season?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I have a couple of moves in mind that hopefully maybe I get maybe one out of two right. I will go to Tennessee and ask for the services of Hakeem Nicks. He played in North Carolina. He wants to go over there. All right, he's a proven veteran. He's young. He has the number one role before. I will ask the Tennessee. Yeah, he's only 26, 27 years old. Not old. It is, the knee.
I mean, that's going to cut it.
Nah, let me tell you something. I still support Hakeem Nicks. Tom Copeland did a very bad job managing his injury, and he admit that. Jerry Reese admit that. I'm a Cowboy fan. I'll tell you that. I'm just happy he's not in our division no more.
So, but
I will go to Hakeem Nicks. Cheap. He's very cheap. Very cheap. And then
better be.
Yeah, he's very cheap. But it's a cheap thing. But excuse me?
Could he give you 1,000? Could he give you 1,000?
Hell yeah! Listen, go back to the track record. This man, let's keep it real. Hakeem Nicks, don't forget his playoff games. When he came back healthy for those playoff games, he was lighting defenses up. The man could be a number one guy. He hasn't given this shot since he left the Giants and went on to the Colts. You know what I mean? So he hasn't had a real shot. So I think Carolina will be good for him, and plus he's from North Carolina. And I'll give another guy, Ruben Randall from the New York Giants. His contract is coming up. They already got Odell Beckham Jr. You signed Dwayne Harris, a punt returner for $7 million. So let's keep this real. You're gonna pay this man $7 million just to return kicks, and that's it? No, trade Ruben Randall, play your Corey Washington out there, and we see what happens with that. You can go look around the league and give yourself a receiver who has the potential to be at least the number 2 target behind Greg Olsen. You can't find that. Hell, you can go to Dallas. No. Matter of fact, don't come to Dallas. Don't do that. Go somewhere else. Don't come to Dallas. Don't come to us. I like my squad right now.
Hakeem Nicks is 27 years old, and the guy can't sniff any playing time. That, to me, is more telling than anything. I would go the route of free agency just because, at this point, Carolina is so thin. You know, what do you want? I mean, it's not going to demand a high trade value in return, getting someone like Hakeem Nicks away from Tennessee or whatever. But I would rather sign somebody for a year. I mean, look, the names that I'm checking names here. That's why I'm looking down on the screen, trying to figure out because I didn't really have too many off the tip of my tongue. But you know, like Brandon Lloyd's getting old up there. He probably doesn't.
Yeah, I'm about to say. You read my mind. I'm about to say him, Brandon Lloyd.
He's one of my favorite. You know, that guy's got some hands, dude. In these days, man, I used to love watching him play, bro. He used to make some crazy catches. 49er for a little bit, so I loved him. But talk about what do you have, like 80 catches for 1,000 yards, and they just disappeared the next year. That's crazy to me, man.
Yes.
You know, like Kevin Ogletree, maybe that's a little less. I mean, he's proven that he can do it on a week, you know, here and there. I mean, the names that we're saying aren't going to be world beaters. They're definitely not. But you're just looking for somebody that's going to fill the gap. I mean, look at what's the guy's name in Tampa Bay last year? Louis Murphy. I believe he came on the scene like week 6 or whatever. Guys like that. Someone can emerge with the right amount of playing time. You just gotta find the guy that fit the skill set. You know, what do they need? They need someone to stretch the field. So I'd go for someone with some speed. You know, like maybe trying to get some of that coverage away from the Greg Olsen and that box that they're trying to stack.
Yeah,
you know?
Listen, I would go to Philadelphia and try to get Miles Austin. You know, I know he might be getting cut very soon because they got Jordan Matthews, they got Aguilar out there, they got Kid Huff. So Michael Huff, they got Riley Cooper still. So you know you can go ahead and get Miles Austin. So you can wait to free agency start. I mean, I won't wait that long because the whole thing is that
he's got to learn.
You don't want somebody the playbook and getting good in a good rhythm with Cam Newton. So you got to go ahead and move. But I tell you this, I will try to go after Reggie Wayne. If everything's fine with that. Oh, Santana Moss. I mean, he is old.
Yeah, but you got to get a player. That's the type of guy you got to get. It's got to be a Miles Austin, a Santana. It's got to be someone like that because if he's not, he's on another team. You know, he's got value. So you almost got to catch lightning in a bottle at this point. You know, you need to get somebody who, with the right amount of playing time, can really make something happen. I mean, how many times do you see Brandon Oliver last year? He was a nobody. You know, then they
I'll give another guy. I'll give another guy. And I know Cueto Cox will be pissed off. Cueto will be very pissed off and I'm gonna mention his name anyway. Cordell Patterson. The Minnesota Vikings was thinking about trading him or releasing him. Cordell Patterson is another receiver I was trying to go after.
Game. How are they going to release somebody that's that good returning kicks and punts? That baffles me.
Yeah, because North Turner believes that. And North Turner believes that he's not his type of guy from the word on the street in Minnesota. So I mean, listen, if I'm the Panthers and the GM, I think his name is Richardson. Sit back, look at the players out there, and try to do this at least by next week. Evaluate all these wide receivers. You need to trade. Gotta get next week.
Right.
At least by next week. You can't go more than that. Don't bring somebody to bring only for a weekend and expect them to do anything. So, it's terrible news.
The only good that comes from it is it's in the preseason and he's going to be healthy next year. You know, he's not going to roll over into next season. So at least they lose only one season of him. But damn, man, I was loving it. I love him anyway. I wanted to see what he did outside of fantasy. Like I love watching players like that, young guys who just burst on the scene.
Well, guys, we ran out of time. We got to go to the next down. But any last word before we move? Got to go quick.
I think Cam still be a good.
You know what? Well, you know what, Carl? I want to ask you this real fast. Now that Benjamin's not there, does it build up value to get Cam Newton in fantasy football now?
I think it hurts him a little bit, man. I think just because of the depth of the position. I mean, you look just the names around Cam alone. You got Brady lurking, Romo, Stafford. Like those guys are right there with Cam in the rankings. Even Eli, you're better off waiting, dude. You know, like don't get somebody like that that's going to be in that position where you're going to struggle. I think he'll be all right, but if you're not waiting a couple rounds later, I wouldn't even bother with him yet.
Same here too, but I think Olsen might have a good year.
Oh yeah.
or a bad year, depending on the matchups.
85
Because he's the
catches,
main
man.
receiver.
He's a baller,
80
man. He's got
catches.
football in his family. Like, his father's a coach. Like, he knows how to play. That dude's a baller. He'll show up.
Yeah, but I'm just
80
saying, but
catches.
because he's the only biggest one and it's not really another option, he might have struggled with a good defensive team, but maybe a good bench receiver if they have an easy defensive team. He's going to light up your fantasy points. That's my belief.
Well, they got Jerry Boykins too. They got Jerry Boykins, so who knows? Let's see what happens with that.
Wait, Carolina has Jared Boykins?
Catch you guys back in the third and 1. Final down. We'll be right back.
All right.
All right.